Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys want to see how I achieved this glueless frontal wig install as well as the construction, then keep watching. This video is mostly beginner friendly, and I say mostly because some parts I accidentally missed and forgot to record. But the majority of what you guys need is right here in this video, so just keep watching. Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to pin back those baby hairs and getting them out of the way so you can go ahead and bleach the knots of the frontal. The next thing you want to do is go ahead and grab your bleach powder and go ahead and empty it out into the bowl. I just used the Quick Blue packet and I'd used some 10 volume developer. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that in till it's the consistency that I need it to be. And I'll show you guys what the consistency is supposed to look like in just 1 second. This is how your bleach should look. You want to make sure that it's not too runny and that it's not too clumpy. It's pretty much like a in-between of both. After you have mixed it to your liking, you want to go ahead and grab a butter knife. I just use a plastic one, and then you just want to smooth it onto the frontal, making sure that it's not bleeding through. After you have finished spreading the bleach on the frontal, you want to go ahead and grab some foil, or you could have done that first, it doesn't really matter, but you're going to grab some foil and you're going to flip the frontal upside down and you're going to allow it to process. If you're wondering how long you should let it sit, I typically check it every 10 to 15 minutes. So while my knots were bleaching on my frontal, I went on ahead and conditioned my 3 bundles. The inches are 18, 20, and 22. The hair is from OnnaLuxe, of course, and the texture is deep wave. The frontal is a 13 by 5 transparent lace, 16-inch deep wave frontal. So those are the details of this wig. As you can see, I have already washed out the bleach and conditioned the hair. So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and pin down the front. Okay, so I need you guys to pay attention very closely to what I'm about to do next. As you can see, I am pulling down the sides of the frontal, making sure that it is even before I put in my first pin. After you see that it is even, you want to basically form an M in the front of your frontal. This is a very crucial step. Between this step and the next 2 steps, it will either make or break your frontal wig construction. So please, please, please pay attention. The next thing you want to do is pull down where you basically pinned it in the front. You want to match that up and take your next pin and pin it down that exact same way, making sure that it's directly in the middle. Make sure that you are directly in the middle of your frontal. As you can see, I'm showing you guys that my 2 pins so far are lined up directly. on to what I think is the most important part of pinning down your frontal. You want to make sure that you're not pulling that lace back. You want to allow it to lay exactly where it wants to lay. Don't pull it back. Don't pull it forward. Just lay it directly straight down from where it's already placed from your first 2 T-pins. As you can see, we still have that M shape in the front of our frontal. So now I'm just pinning down the other side, preparing it for me to sew down the frontal. So again, I'm just showing you guys how you have that perfect M shape in the front of your frontal. And I'm also showing you guys how I made sure that it was even on both sides. If you pay close attention, you can see how the tabs are the same length and they are leveled with each other. So now I'm going to go ahead and just part it down the middle with my finger. And I'm going to put the frontal in 2 braids. This way I can make sure that the hair is not in my way at all. Now that that is done, it is time to go ahead and sew down your frontal. I'm pretty sure you guys know this already, but I did say that this video is beginner friendly, so I'm going to make sure I give as much information as possible. When you're sewing onto a wig cap, you want to make sure that you're not sewing it through the elastic band in the cap. So basically you're going to feel the first layer, which is like the cap, and then there's the elastic band on the inside, and then there's the other layer of the cap. So you want to just sew through that first layer of the cap, and that's around the circumference of your head. It's not like that throughout the whole cap, but I'm sure you guys can see that if you're using the same type of cap that I'm using. So I'm at the end of sewing the frontal. So what I do is I normally do a total of about 3 to 4 knots, and then I just go ahead and cut the rest of the thread off. So after that's done, I go ahead and take 2 T-pins and I pin down the nape of the neck, which is the back of your wig. You do that so you make sure your wig will fit you accordingly. All right, so it's time to start sewing in those bundles. So the first bundle that I'm going to be sewing in is the 22 inch, the longest bundle that's going to be on this wig. So, okay, right now I'm just unwrapping it, getting it together so I can go ahead and sew it on there. As I stated in my other wig tutorial, it was a 5x5 closure wig tutorial. I do single wefting. I do that to make sure that the hair isn't too bulky. I just want a seamless wig, and with a seamless wig comes a seamless install. So I just go ahead and do it this way. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. So as far as me sewing in the tracks, there's no specific method that I'm using at this very moment. But once I get closer to the top, I'm going to start, once they start really curving, I'm going to start sewing them back in straight. So you guys will see what I mean in just a second. But as you can see, I'm not sewing the tracks onto the frontal. And I'm doing that because let's say if I want to switch out my frontal, I can because I haven't sewn the tracks onto the frontal. So that's just what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting to the part where I was talking about. So you see how it's starting to curve. I don't want to get that at the top of my wig. I want my wig to lay flat. So now I'm just going to start from the bottom of the curve and work my way up, sewing in the tracks straight in. Y'all, this hair is absolutely gorgeous. It is air dried and it is just beautiful. This is only 2 bundles, y'all. Literally only 2 bundles, a 22-inch and a 20, and it's this full. So I'm about to go ahead and sew in my last track. I am, like I said, I'm not sewing it directly onto the frontal, but I'm sewing it as close as possible, but it's on the cap, not the frontal. You'll see what I mean in just a second.
this stitching looks great. So now I'm just showing you guys the hair. This is only about 2.5 bundles, so you definitely would be okay with getting 3 bundles. So now I'm about to wet the hair, calm it down a little bit, bring out the curls, and yeah. So now that the waves are popping, I am moving on to wetting and brushing out the frontal, because the next step is going to be me plucking it. But I'm going to do a separate video on that, just so you guys can get a closer look on it. But so that's what I'm doing right now, just brushing out that frontal. I've already wetted, moving the hairs out of the way, making sure all the curls are popping. So yeah. Y'all, I am literally in love with this curl pattern. Like I said, it's just deep wave, but it's so gorgeous. And I just love how the lace is transparent. It just looks really, really good. And I can't wait to install it.
So the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put this wig on. And I'm going to cut the lace off. I'm cutting the lace off before I put in the elastic band. So I'm about to do now. And as y'all can see, it looks really good. I didn't want to pluck it too much, because I want this wig to last, and frontals generally aren't meant to last that long. So I didn't want to like overdo it, because it'll naturally thin out over time. So I did just pluck it out enough to where it would look natural. I might go in a little bit more on it, but yeah. So I'm gonna start off in the middle. So the next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and put this wig on, and I'm gonna cut the lace off. I'm cutting the lace off before I put in the elastic band. So I'm about to do now. And as y'all can see, it looks really good. I didn't want to pluck it too much, because I want this wig to last, and frontals generally aren't meant to last that long. So I didn't want to like overdo it, because it'll naturally thin out over time. So I did just pluck it out enough to where it would look natural. I might go in a little bit more on it, but yeah. So I'm gonna start off in the middle.
When cutting the lace off to any frontal or closure, you want to make sure you do it in a zigzag motion and not a straight across motion. This will help you have a more seamless install. As you can see, it's blending right in with my skin. So this is how you want to cut it, not straight across. Just up and down, up and down.
All right, y'all, please don't be mad at me. My apologies. I thought I was recording when I cut off the rest of this lace, but I wasn't. So I mean, y'all kind of see how I did it before I stopped recording. But yeah, this is after being cut down. So let me fix it a little bit. So the next thing I'm about to do is sew in the elastic band.
Y'all, look how good this lace looks on my skin. Like, you literally can't even see it. So I am gonna sew in the elastic band on camera, but I'm also gonna make that a separate video. So I'll be uploading the plucking video as well as the sewing in the elastic band video separately, just because I know that those are commonly asked questions. So I'd rather just separate it than trying to fit it all in one video. So I'm not doing it on this video. So with that being said, my elastic band is already sewn in. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm laughing. Me and my husband were having a conversation and it was freaking ridiculous. But anyway, I am now sectioning off what I want to be my baby hairs. And like I said, I might be doing some extra plucking. So as you can see, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Just trying to thin out the baby hair a little bit. So the key to cutting baby hairs is making sure that you're not cutting them all the same length. So that's what I'm doing with the razor. Just making sure they're not all the same length, because that's how you get that crazy looking baby hair. So after I finished cutting all the baby hair that I wanted, I went on ahead and got my hot comb and I pressed down the front. So that's what you're looking at right now. So the next step is going to be me actually laying down my baby hairs. So just watch me work, guys. It's pretty self-explanatory from here because this is just pretty much you styling it. So yeah. But I am literally in awe at how natural this looks. Like, it literally looks like it's my hair, y'all. Like, it's crazy. I love it. Y'all, so I'm still fairly new to this frontal wig thing. So I don't know exactly how to have the ear tabs. I'm sorry, not the ear tabs, but y'all know what I'm talking about, the little sideburn pieces. I don't know how to make them lay down without putting something there. So instead of me using lace glue, I'm using the Got To Be gel. So this install is definitely still glueless. I'm just putting them literally only on the spots that you see me putting it at. Everything else can be lifted up. And at nighttime, all you got to do is get you a little washcloth, some water, and dab it off, and you're good. So it's still a glueless install for sure. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. That's the only part where I would put the gel at.
So now it is time to go ahead and lay the baby hairs. So I'm just using this Afro G wrapping foam, and I'm putting it on the baby hairs, and I'm just gonna brush them how I want them to look. So just to have the baby hairs to stay in place a little bit more, I spray the edge brush with some Got To Be freeze spray, and I just brush them into place after I have used the wrapping foam. So that's what I'm doing right here. Y'all, let's just take a moment and appreciate this scalp. Okay, so before I put on my OnnaLuxe edge scarf, I spray down the baby hairs with the Got to Be Free spray, just making sure they are held into place. After you have secured your edge scarf, you want to go ahead and grab your blow dryer and just go ahead and blow dry that for about 5 to 10 minutes. After you finish blow drying, you can just leave your edge scarf on for right now. And since this is deep wave hair, I'm going ahead and I'm wetting it again just to give it that really, really curly look, just for the finishing product. After you get it how you want it to look, you can go ahead and take off your edge scarf. And at this point, you should be admiring your scalp, because at this point, it's your scalp, sis. It's yours. So while I'm just admiring my scalp, I made the decision to switch my part to a side part, because ultimately I think that's what I wanted to do in the beginning, but I got caught up in the middle part just because I am a middle part girl. But I am switching that part right now to a side part. If you are new with working with frontals or even just lace period, the hot comb is going to be your best friend. Like, it is what's going to make your install look as natural as possible, as flat as possible. So if you don't have one, I suggest you get one, because it can make or break your style. So after I've used the hot comb to switch my part and get it to lay flat, as you can see, I'm taking my spray bottle and I'm spraying it again, because I'm not a fan of hair going in from one texture to the other. So it being straight and then going into curly, I think that looks kind of crazy. So I just went on ahead and wet the roots of it a little bit just to get it back to its curly state. Alright, y'all, so this is the finished look. And I am fairly new to frontal wigs and frontals. I used to do them when they first came out, or when they first became popular, but I kind of fell back from them a little bit. I don't know, I just kind of made my focus front closures for some reason. So this is really like, I'm not that familiar with doing this. So I do know that over time I will get better, but I definitely think that I did a great job for this only being my second frontal wig that I made, like, with me learning more, basically. Like, this looks really good. So I'm not complaining. And it's glueless. So and this is the deep wave hair from OnnaLuxe version here. I just want to thank you guys for watching another one of my videos. If you aren't already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share if you are enjoying my content. Also, make sure you check out the other 2 videos that go along with this video to make sure you get all the information that you need when it comes to glueless frontal wigs. And I will see you guys in my next video.